In this short tutorial, we will go through some of the main features in this interactive website. The website is made to illustrate some concepts on measuring the properties of stars, the medium between stars, and the medium between galaxies. Don't worry if you miss some of the astrophysics jargon in this tutorial. The detailed explanations on these terms are all expressed clearly in words on the website. The first interactive module on this website is the absorption line in a spectrum. As you can see, there are drop-down menus on top. This list includes the most commonly measured elements in stars and the vast empty space of the universe. Each element has different characteristic absorption lines. As you can see, there are a few slider bars below the figures. When you change the column density, it will update both plots. The interactive module will recalculate the absorption profile. At the same time, it will trace out the curve of growth. You might want to change the Doppler width now. After changing the Doppler width, you might want to go back to the column density sliders. As you might have noticed, the curve of growth stops calculating when your absorption line is out of bounds. In this case, you might want to adjust your plotting width slider bar. After playing with multiple curves of growth, your curve of growth figure might get a bit messy. To clean the canvas, you can click on the Reset Curve of Growth button on top. It will clear all the recorded curves of growth. If you wish, you can also change the redshift of the absorber. This will automatically update the absorption and shift it to the correct wavelength. We are now done with the first interactive module. Let's move on to the second one. The second one is a bit more complicated, and it might be worth some effort to try all the features yourself after this tutorial. There are a few slider bars below the interactive module. The first slider bars allow you to change the total column density of neutral hydrogen in the intergalactic medium. You can also change how neutral hydrogen is distributed by changing the redshift power law index. You might want to change the redshift of the quasar. By changing the quasar redshift, the plot will automatically update to the relevant redshift. However, do note that due to many intense calculations required to perform this plot, you might want to wait a bit after you change the values of the sliders. Let's go back to the plot. As you can see, there are two panels in the major plot. The lower panel will allow you to draw a box on the range of wavelength you want to focus on. You can also drag and rescale the range by moving and changing the size of the translucent box that you just drew. Now move on to some of the checkboxes just beside the main figure. The Lyman alpha, beta, gamma, and Lyman limit button allow you to single out absorption that you do not want to consider. For example, if you click on the Lyman beta button, first you can see that some of the lines disappear from the main plot. On top of that, you might have already noticed that they disappear from the Lyman beta subplot on top of your main plot. The subplots on top of the main plot separate the different absorption lines. When you change the properties of the main plots, these subplots will also automatically update. The Remove All Axes button will take off the axes and text from the main plot. Sometimes the plot might get too crowded, and you can click this button to see the spectrum in its full glory. The Quasar mode and the Continuum Subtracted button allow you to interchange between the original absorption line on the quasar spectrum or the absorption line alone, subtracting away the quasar spectrum continuum. The Quasar Spectrum button allows you to overlay the plot with the original spectrum and show how the spectrum looks before adding the absorption lines. The last feature is the Animate button. After you are happy with the parameters, continue on to this feature. By clicking this Animate button, first you will see the original quasar spectrum at its rest frame. As the universe expands, the quasar spectrum is continuously redshifted. At the same time, the spectrum gets all of its absorption lines by encountering different gas clouds at different redshifts. By playing with this animation, you will see how the Lyman alpha forest is formed. These are the major features for understanding the Lyman alpha forest. That's all for the tutorial today. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial.